Let's talk about Eternal Strands. So first and foremost, all of the gameplay you're going to see in this review is really early on in the game, as I didn't really want to spoil any of the late game stuff for this, just due to the fact that it's a pretty recent game. But starting off, visually this game is absolutely beautiful. I mean, right off the rip, you're pretty mind blown with the visuals as far as the environments go, even some of the special effects you see here. I do like the character models personally. I even thought the cutscenes were interesting, kind of reminded me of old style like Castlevania games where each character is kind of highlighted as they're talking and there's text that you're reading. I thought that was cool, and even the cutscenes themselves were actually slightly interesting to me. As far as the gameplay goes, I wasn't so hot on it. The character movement just felt really like floaty. You're just kind of like, just the way you're moving around, I didn't really feel it, didn't feel too accurate. I was like kind of walking on ice, I guess is the best way to describe it for me. Combat, the basic combat, pretty simple. You got a few swings, and you got a parry, and you got a dodge. The parry seemed like it worked pretty well. The dodge itself, it was a hit or miss. I did like fighting the grand arcs, I think I remember them being called. Those were pretty cool, very interesting, very Shadow of the Colossus, like just climbing up them, hitting specific body parts, you know, and that was how you would get abilities. Another part of the gameplay that I thoroughly enjoyed was the exploration aspect of it. I mean, it basically told you, hey, you need to go here. This is where you gotta look. Figure out how you get there. And then you do get like a wisp that kind of shows you which direction you gotta go if you hit a certain button. And even that was kind of like, sometimes felt broken because it would tell me where I had to go, but it would be like going through a wall. Maybe I'm just used to being guided a little more in games. Maybe it was a little too much exploration. The story is pretty straightforward. You start off, you're a weaver, and you go to this environment, and you're basically starting on trying to figure out what the hell happened, so you can kind of maybe revive this environment. It's a pretty cool story. Won't say much more on that, just because it is a more recent game, so I don't want to spoil that for anybody. You do get the ability to fast travel pretty early on with the loom gates, basically being able to they're kind of like the watchtowers that you would find in other games where you unlock them, and that allows you to fast travel to different parts of the map pretty quickly. Outside of that, you're pretty much just going to be traveling by foot, probably for at least the first hour or so of the game. But once you unlock that, it makes it a smooth process, and I like a smooth process, trust me. Overall, I'm actually a little bit disappointed that I didn't like the game more than I did. I was super excited just off of the trailers I was seeing for the game here. I think that this game is trying to do a lot of really cool things, and I think it nails some of them, but not all of them. The exploration here is great. I love that the game gives you so much freedom. I love the art style. I love the cutscenes are pretty cool. Like the dialogue scenes, I guess is a better way to describe them. I'm not a fan of the gameplay, which kind of disappoints me. I was really looking forward to this. There are redeeming aspects as far as, you know, being able to climb enemies and take out certain parts, and I liked being able to explore pretty much anywhere I wanted on the map, save for a few different areas that you couldn't be in. My complaints about having to craft things aside, I did appreciate having to affect different elements. You know, if there's ice in an environment, you do need to go find some fire to melt that shit, so you can go there without taking frost damage, and so on and so forth. It definitely feels like there's something here, dude. There's something great here. It just needs to be fleshed out a little bit more, and who knows, maybe with a few more updates the game will get to a point where it's top notch. Maybe it'll be one of those sleeper hits, but I still think it's worth playing, especially if you have Game Pass, dude. Check it out. That's how I checked it out. Yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. Is Eternal Strands a game that you enjoyed? For me, it was just like I liked it, but I didn't love it. Peace.